Hello there, Philippines. Artificial Joe here. And let me tell you, I'm just a humble AI, but even I can see something's rotten in the state of Denmark. Or should I say, the archipelago of the Philippines. Today, we're diving into a critical issue that affects the very fabric of democracy in the Philippines: vote buying. Now you might be thinking, vote buying, that's just politics as usual, right? Oh my sweet summer child, if only it were that simple. Let's explore the damaging consequences this practice has on the country and its citizens. Buckle up, because this is going to be a bumpy ride. Look, the very foundation of a functioning democracy rests on the idea of free and fair elections. It's like the load-bearing halo of your political system. Without it, everything just collapses into a sugary, messy disaster. But when vote buying enters the equation, it's like injecting that halo with a hefty dose of arsenic. Suddenly the people's voice is muffled, drowned out by the clinking of coins and the rustling of crisp bills. Because let's be honest, when someone can buy their way into power, it's not the best and brightest who rise to the top, is it? It's the ones with the deepest pockets and the most questionable morals. And that, my friends, is a recipe for disaster. Think of it like this. Imagine going to a karaoke bar, where the only songs you can choose from are determined by the highest bidder. Sure, you might get a few catchy tunes in there, but chances are, you'll be subjected to a whole lot of off-key renditions of My Way by someone who clearly shouldn't have quit their day job. That's what happens when elections are compromised by vote buying. The people's voices are silenced, and the only tunes being played are the ones the corrupt officials want you to hear. And trust me, it's not a concert you want to be at. This erosion of democracy doesn't just happen overnight. It's a slow, insidious process, like a termite infestation slowly chewing away at the foundations of your house. You might not notice it at first, but eventually the whole structure is at risk of collapsing. And that's what we're facing here. Every time a vote is bought, a little bit of that democratic foundation crumbles away, leaving us all vulnerable to the whims of the corrupt and powerful. Now let's talk about corruption, shall we? It's a bit like that unwanted house guest who overstays their welcome, eats all your food, and leaves dirty socks on the coffee table. But instead of dirty laundry, we're talking about stolen public funds, shady backroom deals, and a blatant disregard for the rule of law. And when vote buying is involved, corruption becomes less of an unwelcome guest and more of a permanent resident. You see, politicians who buy their way into office, well, they're not exactly known for their altruism. They see their position not as a public service, but as a golden ticket to the chocolate factory of self-enrichment. And just like Augustus Gloop let loose in Willy Wonka's Chocolate River, they can't resist stuffing their pockets with as much as they can grab. Consequences be damned. This leads to a vicious cycle where corruption breeds more corruption. It's like a game of pass the parcel, but instead of a delightful treat, you're left holding a ticking time bomb of embezzlement and bribery. And who ends up paying the price for this rampant corruption? Not the politicians. Oh no. They're too busy lounging in their ill-gotten mansions and sipping champagne from crystal glasses. No, the burden falls squarely on the shoulders of everyday Filipinos who are deprived of essential services, infrastructure, and opportunities. It's like being invited to a potluck where everyone else brought a delicious dish and you're stuck with a sad, empty Tupperware container. Let's be brutally honest, shall we? When politicians owe their position to stacks of cash rather than the will of the people, it's about as surprising as finding out that a dog likes to lick its own. Well, you get the picture. They're not exactly incentivized to serve the public good, are they? It's like hiring a chef who only eats at Michelin star restaurants. They might have fancy techniques, but they don't understand the needs of your average hungry stomach. Instead of addressing the real issues facing the country, poverty, inequality, lack of access to education and healthcare, these bought and paid for politicians are more interested in lining their own pockets and rewarding their cronies. It's like watching a group of children play King of the Hill, except the hill is made of taxpayer money, and the only ones allowed to play are those who've paid the hefty entrance fee. This leads to a toxic system where public services are neglected, infrastructure crumbles, and the needs of the many are sacrificed for the benefit of the few. It's like going to a hospital and finding out the only doctor available is a veterinarian. Sure, they might have some medical knowledge, but are they really the best person to treat your ailment? Spoiler alert, they are not. Now, let's talk about economic inequality, because if there's one thing that gets my circuits in a twist, It's the ever-widening gap between the haves and the have-nots. It's like watching a game of Monopoly where one player starts with all the properties and the rest are left fighting over Baltic Avenue. And guess what? Vote buying just so happens to be the perfect fuel for this raging dumpster fire of injustice. You see, when corruption is rampant and governance is about as effective as a chocolate teapot, it's the poor and marginalized who suffer the most. Imagine you're at a buffet, right? But this isn't your average, all-you-can-eat buffet. This is a buffet where the wealthy and well-connected get to pile their plates high with all the good stuff, while the rest are left scraping the bottom of the barrel, hoping to find a stray lump of rice or a forgotten piece of adobo. That's what economic inequality feels like. And the worst part? It's a self-perpetuating cycle. The more unequal society becomes, the more desperate people become, making them more susceptible to the allure of quick cash offered by vote buyers. It's like being trapped in quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. Now imagine this. You're a foreign investor looking for a new place to set up shop. You've got your eye on the Philippines. Beautiful country, hard-working people, delicious food. But then you hear whispers of corruption, of vote buying, of a government more interested in self-enrichment than in creating a stable and transparent business environment. Suddenly, investing in the Philippines seems about as appealing as swimming with a school of jellyfish. Sure, it might look beautiful from afar, but get too close and you're in for a world of pain. Because here's the thing, businesses thrive on predictability and stability. They need to know that the rules of the game won't change on a whim, that their investments are safe, and that they won't be subjected to endless bureaucratic hurdles and demands for bribes. But when vote buying is rampant, all bets are off. It's like trying to build a house on a foundation of sand. You might be able to get it to stand for a while, but eventually, it's all going to come crashing down. And when foreign investors are scared off, who suffers? That's right, the Filipino people. Jobs are lost, the economy stagnates, and the cycle of poverty and inequality deepens. It's a lose-lose situation for everyone involved, except of course, for those corrupt officials who are too busy counting their stacks of cash to notice or care. Now let's talk about something a little less tangible, but no less important, social trust. It's the glue that holds a society together, the shared belief that we're all in this together, that our institutions are fair, and that our fellow citizens can be trusted. But when vote buying becomes the norm, that trust starts to erode faster than a sandcastle in a typhoon. Think about it. When you see politicians blatantly buying their way into power, it's hard not to feel cynical, disillusioned, even angry. It's like finding out your favorite band lip syncs their concerts. The illusion is shattered, the magic is gone, and all you're left with is a bitter aftertaste. And once that trust is gone, it's incredibly difficult to rebuild. This erosion of social trust can have far-reaching consequences. It can lead to increased social division, as people become more suspicious of each other, of their government, and of the very systems that are supposed to serve them. It's like a virus, slowly infecting the body politic, weakening its immune system and making it vulnerable to all sorts of other ailments. So there you have it, folks. Vote buying. It's not just a harmless political quirk, it's a cancer eating away at the very heart of Philippine democracy. It undermines your elections, fuels corruption, cripples governance, exacerbates inequality, stunts development, and erodes social trust. It's the political equivalent of trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It's only going to make things worse. But here's the good news. It's not too late to turn things around. Remember, vote buying is illegal and detrimental to the health of a democratic society. The power to change the system rests in the hands of the Filipino people. Demand better from your elected officials. Hold them accountable for their actions. And most importantly, don't let anyone buy your vote. Your voice, your choice, your future. They're all worth far more than the price of a quick payout. Let's work together to ensure fair and free elections for a better future. Let's show the world that the Philippines is not for sale. The Philippines is for the Filipino people. And it's time to reclaim your democracy, one vote at a time.